Hello everyone. Now we will discuss about the planning part of GATE 2022. And the first question that we have is, which of the following is the National Electronic Toll Collection System implemented by the National Payment Corporation of India? So even if you are not aware of it was implemented by whom or what are the entire name or anything, we know that it is FASTag. We also cover it in Intelligent Transport Management System and all these. All the other names they are given just to confuse you. After this, there is an economic concept in which they are asking about in the given supply and demand curve. This shaded portion denotes what? So basically, there are two things, which is say consumer surplus and producer surplus. So consumer surplus is the benefit which the consumer gets when he pays something lesser than he is willing to pay for that product. So the benefit he is getting, that is the consumer surplus. Whereas the producer surplus is something, the benefit that the producer is getting by selling at the market price, which is higher than the price which he would otherwise sell. Basically, the base price, including the profit and all those things. So, in this graph, this shaded portion is consumer surplus, and this lower part is basically the producer surplus. So the consumer surplus, one of the example could be, let's say, drinking water. So as it is a necessity, the consumer is willing to pay a lot of price, but he is paying very less in the market. So he is getting some benefit from it. That part is consumer surplus. After that, next question was about this kind of traffic interchange. And we know that this part is actually clover leaf. When you have, let's say, these two were not there, then it would be a partial clover leaf. After this, let's say if you need to think of directional, so we know that directional have direct path for each of the kind of movement like this. The trumpet, they basically occur at the T junction, so they go something like this. And diamond interchange, in this, let's say this is the path, you go like this, you do the interchange, and you go like this. So this is the outline of different kind of interchange. Okay, next question is about which of the following is our value capture methods. This is a MSQ question. First, you need to understand what is value capture method and then about the different options. So value capture method is like, you can say, taking back some of the benefit which the public infrastructure, the development in public infrastructure providing to the private landowners. So value capture method is getting some part, or let's say overall part of it back. So different answers for this would be, if we start from first one, building construction fees. So there is a concept of let's say development charges or upfront fees. So if GATE considers building construction fee as the same part, then it is one of the answer. Then fees for changing agriculture to non-agricultural land use, it is also a value capture method. User charge is not a method. User charge basically depends upon the quantity that you as a user is consuming, and it is not collected in a generalized way, let's say. Premium on additional FSI, FAR, it is a value capture method. So the answer for 69 would be A, B, and D option. After this, the next question is Which among the following is are models of public-private partnership? So these models, when we cover, we also know the details. We know that BOLD is nothing. We know BOLD, it stands for build, it stands for build, own, lease and transfer. Whereas boot stands for, again you have build, then own, then operate and transfer. After that, BPOT is nothing. So the answer would be basically B and C. Next we have is a numerical in which they have measured spot speed for 10 vehicles and the values are given. They are now asking about the time mean speed of this traffic stream. There are two things, time mean speed and space mean speed. So in time mean speed, you directly take the mean of all the given spot speed values. In the space mean speed, you take the harmonic mean of those values. So it is basically, you can say, easier question. For the calculation of time mean speed, we will add on all these values and we'll divide it by 10. So that will be, if you add all of these, 45 plus 35 plus 25. I'm not writing all of these, this divided by 10. So the total will become 438 divided by 10, and therefore the time mean speed will be 43.8. So that would be the answer, rounded off to one decimal place. Then in another numerical, we have a township in which price of each house was 25 lakh. And they have given a relationship between the number of houses which are sold, that is the quantity, and the price of house, which is P. And the relationship is Q is equals to 6685 minus 0.00158 P. Now they say that if the price of each house increases by 20%, then the decrease in sale of houses, remember they are asking it in percentage, rounded off to two decimal place. So first thing we need to find for the first month through this relation. So the quantity will be equal to 6685 minus 0.00158, and this part multiplied with the price, which is 25 lakh. So if you do the calculations, you will get the quantity as 2735. Let's say this is Q1. Now after this they are saying that the price of each house increases by 20%. So the new price will be, we have a 20% increase. So it will become 25 lakh multiplied by 1.2, or you can also calculate like 25 lakh plus 20% of 25 lakh, that's the same thing. So it will become 30 lakh. Now for this new price, the new quantity would be, let's say that is Q2, 6685 minus 0.00158 multiplied by P, which in this case is 30 lakh. So the new quantity would be 1945. Now they are asking about decrease in sale of the house as compared to the last month. So first we need to find what is the total decrease, and then we need to compare it with the initial quantity to get the percent change. So the decrease we have is 2735 minus 1945, that will be 790, and to get it in percentage, this is the decrease. Now let's say decrease percent would be decrease divided by the initial multiplied by 100. That will become 28.88. After this, the next question we have is match the following for 2 marks. And the first question is you need to match different models with their application. So this part we study about each of the model, that which model will go with what. Logic model is basically goes with model split. Green shield model, it is for the traffic flow. That is, it represents how one parameter, how the behavior of one parameter is affected by the other, or let's say the relationship between speed and density, all these things. Then we have gravity model, and it is for trip distribution. Multiple regression model is for trip generation. So the answer from this would be 2, 3, 5, 4, option C. No need to get into the detail of any model, you just need to know the forecasting model for all these. Next question we have about different theories and their proponents. So now these are the kind of questions which are very hard to prepare. It's like if you have gone through any of the theory, you can just look at the name of their proponents. It's like, say we have example of broken window. So broken window basically this is a metaphor which is used to talk about the disorder in the community, in the neighborhood, which further leads to the crime. So these are the kind of theories, and the proponents are broken window is given by Wilson and Kelling. Sherry Hunstein with ladder of citizen participation. Then we have Henry for right to city, and Richard Florida with creative class. So the answer is option C. Next, we have again different artists and their contribution. So same goes with this question as well that I explained in the previous one. So Robert Park and Lewis Worth are with urban ethnography. Jacob August goes with tenement shelter photography. This is also very famous. You can just Google it. Charles Booth with poverty map, and John Snow with cholera map. So the answer for this would be option A. Next, in this conceptual diagram, you need to identify different areas which are marked for with their association. It's like this is the city boundary. And out of the city boundary we have a settlement, which is basically the satellite town. So P is a satellite town. Then we have this Q, which is in the border of this urban area and the neighboring rural area. So it is having the characteristics of both, which we know is actually an urban fringe. Then R, so we are having a metro rail line, a mode of transportation and development around it, which is transit oriented development. So TOD. And we have this central part, which is the business district of this city area. Out of this, option A would be the right answer. We have identified all these reasons based on their properties. Next comes is which among the following is are the components of assimilative carrying capacity of urban environment. Now the assimilative carrying capacity, like for an urban environment, it should be able to assimilate the overall produces or the pollution, like the air, water or land pollution. It should be able for that. Also, we have referred one of the document by NIUA, and there they have mentioned that it should be capable of having its own economic base and infrastructure which can support its own population and the needs. So based on that understanding, we would say that all these options are right, A, B, C, D. Now we need to actually look for gate perspective if they consider economy as a part of the answer or not. Next, a transportation network is given with all these different nodes, and we need to find the option which represent the minimum spanning tree. Now in minimum spanning tree, you need to look at few things. That is, all the different nodes, they should be connected and the weight should be minimum. Now there is no need that it goes up to let's say in one continuous flow. That's not the requirement. So if we look at all these options and the weight of them, so first is PQ, then PQ is 2, then QR, which is again 2. We need to keep on adding them. Then next we have is QT, which is 3, then TS, which is again 3. Then again we need to take SU, which is 2. So if you add all of these, you will get the total weight as 12. So in this one, the total weight for first option is 12. In the option B, you can count in the same manner. You will get the total weight as 14. In the option C, you will get the total weight as 12. And in the fourth option, we'll get the total weight as 17. So based on the understanding and this calculation, option A and option C, they are the right answer. Okay, so next question we have is related to the peak hour factor. Basically, our students, if you have solved all the mock test which we gave you towards the your preparation time, so a lot of topics which kind of, let's say, we do not emphasize on during the classes, they are also covered in the mock test. We specifically gave questions on this peak hour factor or the time mean speed or the space mean speed. So if you have prepared mock test with us, then these questions, they are easier for you. Now, in the case of peak hour factor, the concept is basically we have duration from 8 to 10. So first we need to find which one is the peak hour. After that, we need to look at the total volume count in that peak hour. After that, we have 15-minute time interval. So we need to take the peak 15-minute PCU, the total volume count, and then we can find the peak hour factor. So for this, if you take, let's say, from 8 to 9, so the count you will get is 1047. And when you take it from 9 to 10, the count you are getting is 1329. So basically the 9 to 10, this is the peak hour, and in that 405 is the peak 15-minute volume. So for the calculation of peak hour factor, peak hour factor is equals to, you need to first take the volume for these 60 minutes and you need to divide it by peak 15-minute period multiplied by 4. So 4 multiplied by this volume of peak 15-minute. There might be some interruption in the in this response. So for this calculation, you can take the peak volume as 1329 divided by 4 multiplied by the peak is 405. So this will give us the final value as 0.82. So 0.82 is the peak hour factor for this. Remember, peak hour factor always lies between it 0.25 to 1. Now, next question we have is that a landowner has shown interest in town planning scheme. And for the TP scheme, we know that what happens, let's say out of your original plot, some part of your plot will be deducted, and based on all the physical infrastructure, the growth in that, the after the overall development, your land value increases, your property value increases. So we need to assess this particular table, and then we need to tell what is the net benefit that is received by the landowner. So first thing is, the original plot size is 500 square meters and the original land value given is 1200. So using this, let's say we write here the value in the starting is this 1200 multiplied by 500. So we will get 6 lakh. After this, there is a plot deduction of 40%. So 40% of 500 is deducted. Remaining now is only 60%. So the final plot is new plot that we are having is 60% of 500. That is equal to 300. Now this is the new plot which the owner is having, and the developed land value is 2800. Therefore, the final value we can get, the new value will be equal to this 2800 multiplied by the new plot which he is having, and that will give us the value as 8,40,000. Initially it was 6 lakh, now it is 8 lakh 40,000. So the increase in value is 2,40,000. This minus this. After this, it says that because now the authorities, after the development, they need to also take some money back to repay their cost. So they do, they levy betterment charges, and that is 50% of the increased total land value. So total land value increase is actually 2,40,000. 50% of it needs to be paid. So 50% goes, let's say we subtract here 1,20,000, which is the 50% of it. So after this, we will get the net benefit which the landowner is getting, 1,20,000. Then comes the last question, in which there is a construction project and year-wise cash flows are given. The discount rate, that is the K value, is given as 12%. We need to find the net present value up to two decimal place. So first thing is, we should know the formula of it. That is, present value equals to future value divided by 1 plus 1 plus k to the power t. Now for this question, like in the first case, we have an outflow of 5 lakh. So for the outflow, it will be, let's say we are calculating NPV. You can solve it in one flow, in one equation. You can calculate it separately for each year, and then you can add on in the last. So for the outflow, we will take minus 5 lakh divided by 1 plus k, which is 12%. That is equal to 0.12. So 1 plus k as a whole unit, it will become 1.12. And as that is the base year 0, which is the outflow, t goes to 0. After this, next we'll have for the this year 0, for a next year also 0. After that, in the next year, the cash inflow is 1,80,000 and the outflow is 50,000. So the overall cash inflow we are getting is 1,30,000. And this divided by 1 plus k is actually, we have solved already here. So we can directly write 1.12 and the power will go up to 3. Similarly, you can solve it for others. Like the next one, it would be 1,70,000 divided by 1.1 to the power 4. Next one will be 2,40,000 divided by 1.1 to the power 5. And next will be 3,30,000 divided by 1.1 to the power 6. So all of that we can write here and you do the calculations. Now in this question, basically it also depends upon when you take the power of 1.1 to the power 3, you will get something in decimal. So you need to round it off and then you need to divide 1,30,000 by that. So in this question, gate should give a range that your answer should lie between in these two values. If you directly first solve this value 1.1 to the power 3, which will come something like 1.404, and then you divide it like that. If you use this approach, the answer in the end you will get is something like 4133.16. And if you directly keep on solving it in, let's say, in calculator, using it as an equation, so you won't be basically rounding off it to any value, so you will get some other value. So for this one, this particular question, gate will give you a range, so we need to look for that what they considers. And with that, we are done with all the questions of planning part. We covered all the theoretical questions and the numerical questions.